It's being seen as a chance for the Irish government to get the country on the road to recovery. Ireland is in the red by €3.7 billion for the first 3 months of this year, 10 times the shortfall for the same period last year. The unemployment rate has hit 11% and the economy is predicted to shrink by up to 7% this year.
Within Western Europe, you'd have to say Ireland has probably been one of the worst performers, and that's mainly because we had shifted so much labour to house building in particular. Many workers were employed in that sector.
The government's critics believe the main budget in October was a disaster. VAT was raised at the same time as it was lowered in the UK, resulting in Irish shoppers travelling to Northern Ireland for bargains. It's thought the Irish government will try to claw back up to €4 billion through today's budget. It's expected to include cuts in public spending, but also an increase in a national income levy. It leaves the public preparing for the worst.
We're just going to be hit left, right and centre, but they're not hitting the people that we feel should be hit. You know, the top bankers, the top industrialists and that kind of thing.
There's an awful lot of rich people in this country not paying tax. They're getting away with loopholes and stuff like that.
Those who experienced Ireland's years of massive growth are now watching quietly from the sidelines how the current government deals with the recession.
It's a very difficult position for the next few years. Obviously, our debt GDP ratio is low, which gives us some opportunity of being able to borrow. But borrowing is only one aspect. We're going to have to cut government expenditure. We're going to have to increase taxation, unfortunately.
It's going to be another difficult day for a government which has had to deal with trade union protests and strikes over how it has been handling the economy up until now. And the Irish Prime Minister Brian Cowen is looking for some light at the end of the tunnel.
Europe, you'd have to say Ireland has probably been one of the worst performers, and that's mainly because we had shifted so much labour to house building in particular. Many workers were employed because we had shifted so much labour to house building in particular. Many workers were employed because we had shifted so much labour to house building in particular. Many workers were employed because we had shifted so much labour to house building in particular. Many workers were employed.